commenced an investigation into an alleged juvenile prostitution and human trafficking occurrence. Information was provided that in late August of this year, 2 young female victims, aged 14 and 15 years, who were residents of a group home northwest of Toronto, were recruited and procured to be prostituted. It was disclosed that the victims were transported from the group home to Toronto on August 31st, 2012. After arriving in Toronto, the victims were forced into prostitution in the Sherbourne Street area over a period of several days. On September 8th, 2012, a 16-year-old young offender who cannot be identified under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act was arrested at the group home and charged with 2 counts of procuring a person to become a prostitute, exercise control, and trafficking in persons. In the early morning hours of Sunday, September 9th, 2012, a 21-year-old man, Anthony Merchant of Toronto, was arrested and charged as well with 2 counts of procuring a person to become a prostitute, exercise control, and trafficking in persons. Since their arrests, these 2 accused have been released from custody by way of a recognizance with conditions. In the course of the ongoing investigation, on Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012, an 18-year-old man, Alejandro Rengifo of Toronto, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of procuring a person to become a prostitute, exercise control, and trafficking in persons. Since his arrest, this individual has also been released from custody by way of a recognizance with conditions. As the investigation continued to progress, a 4th suspect was identified, and as such, on Tuesday, October 24th, 2012, a warrant in the first instance was obtained for the arrest of Alberto Enrique Vasquez, 21 years of age, of Toronto. A news release was issued to notify the media and the public about this individual. At 4 p.m. on Tuesday, October 24th, 2012, Alberto Vasquez surrendered himself at 51 Division. Alberto Vasquez was charged with 2 counts each of procuring a person to become a prostitute, exercise control, trafficking in persons, living on the avails of prostitution, and receiving a material benefit. Alberto Vasquez was scheduled to appear in College Park Court, courtroom 501, at 10 a.m. this morning for a bail hearing. This investigation remains ongoing. I would like to acknowledge the assistance of the community in this investigation. Serious criminality, such as juvenile prostitution and human trafficking, are the millstone of the entire community. To those members of the community who offered their assistance to the police in this investigation, I would like to express my appreciation. I can assure you all that the victims have been rescued from this dangerous environment and are now receiving all the support and assistance that they will need in moving forward with their lives.
Any questions?
They've been removed. She was familiar with the group home. She's since been removed.
So is that a yes or a no or not?
Yes, she was a resident of the group home.
Were the 2 teenage victims physically abused in the living apart from the forcing?
That's part of the ongoing investigation that we're still looking into.
The group home would suggest some sort of supervision. Who ran the group home and who obviously wasn't watching the shop?
I can't get into details on that specifically right now. That might compromise the ongoing investigation as part of the group home.
Can you specify a little more what the home was for these people before the courts or foster homes?
Well, I can assure you that the group home itself is a ministry accredited, Ministry of Child and Youth Services group home. They do have their accreditation, and they are authorized to operate as such as a group home. And it's located northwest of the city.
Do you think there was a deficit of supervision? Did someone come in and basically procure women prostitution?
I can't speak to the what's going on with inside the group home. I can't comment on that.
They didn't go back
Who?
to that particular facility.
Who didn't go back?
The girls did not go back to the same facility.
When? Like,
after the,
they did return to the group home, and that's where it was reported to. The disclosures are made to group home staff on their return, and since their return, about a week after they went missing from the group home, they've been removed to different group homes.
When the police notified when they went missing or when they returned?
On their, well, Toronto police were notified on their return. When they went missing originally, it was reported to the OPP. It's a different jurisdiction.
And were the OPP investigating during that time?
I can't comment on what investigation the OPP conducted at the time.
Are there more victims? You think you said there are two right now.
Mhm.
You think there are more victims or no?
At this point in the investigation, there's nothing to suggest that there's further victims out there. We've identified the 2 victims that we know were victimized. Like I said, the investigation remains ongoing if we receive information to suggest that.
And how did the people who were charged know each other? Was there a connection?
There is a connection. I can't get into specifics on the connection.
So would you call it an organized?
Loosely organized.
Loosely organized?
how did they know the victims?
I'm sorry?
How did they know the victims suspect?
It all started from within the group home.
Okay, do they use any physical confinement measure like food chain?
No.
Nothing?
No. Nothing to suggest in the investigation that was applied in any way.
Any other questions?
Yes, the third man who surrendered himself, I mean, is he suspected to be like the leader in any way? Or
That's part of the ongoing investigation. We're still going to narrow down that scope and determine the roles a little more clearer as we go through a little more in depth. We're still looking at that component. Like I said, the investigation remains ongoing, and that's one of the things that we're going to continue to develop.
How closely have you been working with the Ministry of Services?
I've had a bit of contact with them, but not much about this. Their investigation will be separate from ours.
what kind of techniques have you have the police employed in this investigation? Like, were there undercover cops in these cases?
Like I said in the closing remarks, a significant portion of this investigation can be attributed to the support and assistance that we receive from people within the community, willingly providing us with information and assistance to continue to move this investigation forward. Mostly it was old-fashioned police work where we just put our backs in and dug.
You said you're still investigating. What will bring you to the end of the investigation? When will you know it's finished?
When it's finished, we'll know. I can't say with certainty right now that it is concluded. When I do have that sort of an indication where there's nothing more to look at, then I will know, but I'm not sure that we're quite there yet.
When you say help from the community, what part do you mean to Toronto community or the group home?
It's pretty far-reaching, actually, because we have a lot of support and assistance from people within the group home. Obviously, the staff there were great help to us. They were very helpful in providing us with information, and I would like to say within the city, we received tremendous support from members of the community when we were finding out information and approaching people. They were glad to assist us in whatever help we needed to keep moving this investigation forward.
What kind of emotional shape are the girls in? Are they obviously distraught and
From what I understand, they don't really like to talk about this much, and it's still a bit of a hard topic for us to get into. We're going to allow time to pass, and maybe through the passage of time, it'll be a little bit easier for them to talk about it. But I can assure you, like I said in the closing remarks, that they're getting all the support and the assistance that they need right now, and they've been removed from the dangerous environment, which is our number one goal, right?
But they gave you a pre-statement? They gave statements?
We've spoken with them, yeah.
So how did the suspect get that information out? Like the advertisement on the Kijiji or on the website?
No, in this instance, it was a street level prostitution.
Any other questions? Yeah, that's just one quick one. How is the recent ambiguities of the criminal code, so the sections for the court, does that help or hinder the work that you guys do?
Are you referring to like body house type charges?
And the avails on it?
Yeah, well, living on the avails still applies. Body house thing, it's a little bit unsettled right now. This is a completely different type of investigation where you have the control, the exploitation, and it's done through threats and coercion to young girls. So it falls under a completely different section other than body houses, so it doesn't really apply at all in this investigation.
The 16-year-old girl who was initially charged, how did she, at that young age, get in contact with people who do this, or how did she learn how
It's out there. And I'm of the opinion this is happening more frequently than we like to maybe admit to. All we have to do is look for this and pay attention